Okay guys, so it's time to continue the build here. We're gonna install the cover and the clutch and all the stuff, oil pump, everything that goes on this side generally. So the first thing we're gonna do is install the shift rod. I went ahead and already lubricated this up, and it's just in the seals already on the other side, and it pretty much just simply slips through here. Okay, so there's two things. You gotta push this down and get that onto that right there. And then that will index right in there just like that. And see where it wants to go. Just like that. So that's the first piece. The next one is the, I'm not really sure what you call it. It's like the shift indexer thing. But it has this special spring with a little nip on it. And it's going to go on right there. And the way this works is it slides in right here. Like that. So you actually push it in along with the spring, and then there's a little hole right inside of here that spring's going to go into, just like that. Okay. So the last part of this piece is there's a bolt. It has a washer that goes on the back, kind of like right here, just like that. And then we're going to, of course, we're going to Loctite this. I'm going to go ahead and torque this down to 12 Newton meters. Alright, there we go. Okay, so the next thing to go on is going to be the clutch basket and oil pump. You kind of do them at the same time. So as you can see here, there's a bit of a ring right there. So the way this works is there's the oil piston right here that goes on first. I've already went ahead and put some assembly lube on this. Probably put a little more just to make sure it starts fine. And then put a little on here too, the sliding surface, because you can see the wear marks. So that goes on there just like that. And I'll go ahead and put just a little more on this side, on this surfaces. And on the piston, just so I don't have to do it again later. So I'm going to go ahead and put this lock ring. It has a tab on it that goes right here into that hole, and then there'll be a snap ring. So the snap ring just goes on right here. There it is. Okay, so that's installed now. I'm going to put a little assembly lube right here on the shaft, and then I'll go ahead and set this on there. So you got to kind of do these at the same time, the piston and the pump. So I went ahead and put a new gasket on the oil pump here. I've cleaned it out completely and just kind of made sure it's all clean. Anyway, so it goes right here. I have to pull this out more. Right onto that like that. Then it slides in straight in down here like that. Just like that. Okay. So this, I have 3 bolts that don't quite match, but I couldn't find the original ones, so I'm using these. Okay, so I forgot here that you actually have to put the drive gears on first, otherwise it doesn't work very well. So the first thing that goes on here is this washer. So you slide that on, that goes on first. Then this gear. Okay. Just like that, and we'll slide all this back in. Just like that, then the front gear goes on.
And usually you have to kind of preload it a little bit. There it is, that's the one.
Okay, so I went and found the correct bolts. They're 32 millimeters for this top part, so I'll use those up there, and then I'll just use one of these Allens down at the bottom, down here. Anyway, so the first thing we'll do is put the gasket back on, because it's kind of hard to get to if it's down in here. Okay, I'm going to torque these down to 10 Newton meters. Okay, so the oil pump's installed. Now just bend these tabs up. Okay, so once you got the oil pump on, you need to put the second gear on. Sometimes this takes a little bit of lining up. There's a couple different positions it can kind of go in before it'll go on there. So it'll just go on just like that. The next thing I'm going to put on is the clutch basket here. It pretty much just goes on just like that, no big deal there. Then if we look at this, it simply has the circlip that goes on. This is a special one, so if you change it, be aware of that. And then this goes over it just like that. I'm going to bend this together some first. There we go. There we go. Okay, then this piece will go in also, just it'll slide in right there. And this is a friction surface, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of assembly lube on it just to make sure everything's as it should be. Okay, so this goes in with the small end towards us, which will correspond to this right here. And that just gets pushed in just like that. Next thing to go in is going to be the clutch pack. This one's a bit rough, but we'll see if it cleans up. I think it'll be okay. So I'll start in the back here. It's just going to be like any other one. I'll probably put a little bit of motor oil on it as I go here, just to make sure it's not going to burn up in the clutch. Okay, then the last piece to go on will be this piece here. Sometimes you have to move it around a couple times to find the index for it. Yeah, that's it. There's 4 springs. Okay, then I torque these down to 10 Newton meters also. Maybe 12. Alright, clutch is installed. Okay, so the last thing to go in here is going to be the oil filter, the centrifugal oil filter. It's got several parts, so the first thing to go on is just this thing here, the little kind of cone piece that holds everything together. The next thing is going to be a washer, if I can find it. There it is. It says outside on it. That goes to the outside. Okay. Then there'll be that, but there's a thing in front of it. Okay, this thing here can be a little bit tricky to get in. Hopefully you can see that there. Yeah. So the first thing to go in is going to be this washer. This is outside, out. Up next is going to be this like lock ring. It goes on kind of like that in one of those grooves, just like that. And it'll push back. Yeah, just like that. Then lastly, the nut will go on. The taper side goes in towards it. You have to use a special socket for this. I just made one out of an old socket. So make sure your thing is still in place like it should be down in there. Just like that. And then we're going to torque this down to 22 foot-pounds, or 300 to 320 centimeters. And then we'll squeeze the tabs down as well. 22.5 foot-pounds, that'll work. I'll just use some cloth to keep it from turning here. So right there. Okay. So then I'll see which tabs line up with the nut in there, and I'll bend it down. So it's gonna be that one right there. Because we don't want this coming off at all. Like that. And if there's another one that's kind of close, we'll bend him down too. Okay. So that's in, that's torqued down. Now I just have to back this up a bit to get that rag out. Just like that, no big deal. Okay, then the final step is there's a new O-ring here. So put a little assembly lube on it. And it kind of goes right in there just like that, up against that groove. It's right there, yeah. Then this piece is gonna go in. The little things line up with the grooves in there, so make sure you get those lined up. Just like that. Okay, so the last thing to do is reinstall this thin circlip here. It's gonna go right, just right in there like that. Oop. It's a real thin one, so you gotta watch it. Make sure that's seated all the way around. Yep. There we go. And I'll put just a little bit of assembly lube right here on this because it's a sliding surface. Alright. So this is all done now. So now we just gotta put the cover on.